Hello, Pendle here from Sound Dust with part 2 of the infomercial instructional videos of how to Plato and also how to Hobbes. Okay, here we go. And what I'm going to show you here is the FX sequencing. As you can see, I've got the sequencer view locked, which means it doesn't change, and you'll see why soon. And here's some of the 127 Doof presets. Firstly the glue version, then we'll switch it into mulch. Now mulch is audio modulation. There's current chorusing and phasing and a bit of compression as well. And as you move through the settings, it morphs through the possibilities, which is quite a nice way of doing it. Smash is brutal compression with overdrive and distortion in there as well. 128 settings, subtly different, sometimes not subtly different, and not necessarily getting more bold. If we go to the Doof there, and so we've turned on the sequencer, we're drawing in the sequencer, nothing's happening. Why is that, you ask? Let's just get a different length, just to make it obvious. It's not happening because we haven't turned it on. There you go. Turn on the sequencer. So it's now tempo synced and sequencing the Doof effects, or the Doof presets. Utilities menu, don't forget the utilities menu. We can double that over by repeating. Change it a little bit. Let's repeat again. So there you go, we've got the subtle compression warble. Less subtle if we go for the mulch. And then smashing, acting more like a distortion, but with a lot of squashing as well. Let's keep it semi-subtle. Turn the whole thing off there. Sequence is still running. Doesn't matter, sequence is still locked. Oof is tape compression and subtle EQ as well, so you can get a bit darker and a bit squashed and a bit grimier. Let's do a very short sequence just so it's obvious. So you can hear the difference in the presets as well. But building up rhythms, different rates. And in Doof as well, so the whole point is you can run them all at different rates, different times, different lengths of steps. Do some doubling there. Or just drag in some more steps. So we've got oof and doof nicely bouncing around each other. Let's add in woof, which is EQ. 3 versions of that. The flat is kind of low resonance, 3-band EQ settings. Sharp is high resonance, 3-band EQ settings. And then filter is an attempt to create low and high pass effects using 3-band. There you go. But you can also do it yourself. You don't have to rely on the presets. But it is the presets that will be sequenced. So go for the Woof sequencer, turn it on, draw some notes in, or some nodes. Right click gives you a straight line, which is very handy. Put it in sharp, it will be more obvious, almost wah-wah-y, because of the high resonance. Now, impulse post is impulse response reverbs, not necessarily reverbs, and these are at the very end of the signal chain, or the very nearly end of the signal chain. That's why it's post. So this will affect everything, including all the oof and doof effects, and the woof effects. Yeah. We'll go back to that presently. Ebb is volume ducking. So it's turned on. Let's just go to an easy size. So if I draw that in, wait until I turn on the sequencer, boof. So the bigger the bar, the more ducking. and the impulse pre is before that, so that also gets docked. Impulse post is after that, so it doesn't get docked. So you can send little splurges into the reverb, and the send effects are also post docking, post effects. So you can send stuff there first and then catch it later. Okay, so let's play around with ebb sequencing. Think of it as a gator, not an alligator. The swing also works on these effects, which can be used interestingly and subtly, but you need to be working against something as well, obviously. So let's turn everything off, just stick to docking. Let's get a kind of rhythm going. So that's pre-impulse, before the docking. We've got drones, which are tunable. So if you know what you're playing, this is in D sharp-ish. So these drones will stay in the same pitch as what you're playing. And then you can add a post effect as well. And we'll get to that later. So let's put the effects back in. So we've got lots of little subtle things. Turn off the sequence view and you can see the sequences that are playing. Put on the sequence lock again, and then we can go and edit things. So we're going to copy the pattern from the doof right in the ebb into the doof. Just put some polite post effect on. And a little bit of reverb send for extra fairy dust effect. Now let's look at the oof sequence, which is the tape. Let's paste what was the doof. And then using utilities again, we can invert the pattern. So it's the exact opposite of the other one. Nice. So the charming white buttons you can see have a universal effect. White is always reset, and pink is a randomizer or a chaosifier. And on every channel here we've got a random noise producer and a random formant filter. Red up here changes volume, attack, decay, etc. White puts it all back. You've got high and low pass filters on every channel here, which can be obvious or less obvious. Put it all back. And then over here is the big daddy. Absolutely everything gets randomized. You're never sure what's going to happen. Just a great way of discovering things. It doesn't randomize the impulse responses. We'll come to that as well. White turns everything off, and the kind of green colour turns everything on, off, and then individually you can turn on effects and randomise them. These are master effects coming after the oofs and the doofs. Well, kind of after, actually they're intertwined, thinking about it. And you can randomise the impulse responses. So turn it on again. Let's do something with the high pass and low pass master after the impulse pre, before the impulse post. So there's the randomizing of the impulse response. And everything on. Everything off. Unlocked. all sequences off. So now this is just no sequencing is playing. This is just the straight notes that I was playing originally, which are sequenced away happily. And there you go. I've stopped it. That's it. So that's the joyful basics of the FX sequencing on the Plato and the Hobbes. And there's a new one coming.